Murray State Athletics is excited to begin our reveal of the facility master plan for the Racers. It's time for all of Murray State Athletics facilities to make a leap forward to remain competitive among our peers in the Ohio Valley Conference. Now let's take a look at the bold plans for Cutchin Field, the home of Murray State soccer since the program was launched in 2000. Let's start with the playing surface that has been natural grass since the beginning. Cutchin Field will get a new field turf surface that is specifically designed for soccer play. No more maintenance cost and no more sloppy field conditions in bad weather. Cutchin Field will also get new competition lights. Murray State Soccer's never had lights before. And Cutchin Field also gets a new video board that can be used for in-game promotions, replays, and player introductions. A new press box on the team side of the field will also be built at Cutchin Field. The home of Murray State Soccer has always been known for the Hill, a place where fans would bring their blankets and lawn chairs to sit and watch the Racers play. In this new improvement plan for Cutchin Field, fans can still enjoy soccer that way, but we will also add enough seating for 500 fans. Former Murray State Soccer star Julie Mooney was a two-time All-OVC performer who competed for the Racers from 2011 to 14. She is excited about the plan for Cutchin Field.
I think if I were a recruit, I'd be excited to come to Murray State. People always want the best facilities, so I think that's a good investment that Murray State could make to recruit people. And yeah, I'd be excited, especially for the soccer field.
And yes, we are making our move in Murray State Athletics with the master facilities plan. You can't plan for the future until you have a plan of what it could look like. And we hope that it's a great look at what we'd like to do with Cutchin Field for Murray State Soccer. And we're going to talk with the people who are playing soccer right now and coaching, and that's Matt Lodge, who's the head coach of the Murray State Racers, and he's already won himself a OVC championship and gone to the NCAA tournament once. So great to have Matt here. And then we've got Simone Cooper, who is a junior from Loganville, Georgia. She's a midfielder. And then Rebecca Kubin, Lake Zurich, Illinois, which is up in the Chicago area. And could it be that she is a senior? It just seemed like she got here. So great to have you all here. First, Matt, let's talk about the tennis component here, as we've already talked about in our past reports. If Benny Purcell courts go to the Waldrop Street location, that means that the Chris Center, where you currently share a locker room, you have one half of the building of the Chris Center, the women's tennis team has the other half. That building could be all soccer. That would certainly make a big difference as well. Just talk about that and how that would increase your space that you could utilize for your team. You
said it right there. Just increases the space. We can do a ton of different things. Then we can have possibly a player lounge, maybe just extend the locker room, make it a little more comfortable for the players. But I think something I'd like to add is maybe a film room or a tactical room where we've got a little more space, where it's not a locker room and a film room. Maybe we can kind of break it up there. But just having that space and just knowing that it's all ours, kind of renovate that space, maybe a direct path from our locker room to the training room rather than the girls having to walk all the way around the building. There's just a lot of exciting things we can do there.
As we've gone through each facility, and we're continuing to do that, I'm excited about all of them, of course, but I'm really excited about Cutchin Field because I think more than any of the facilities, this one could be changed the most. You could go to turf, get lights, create a large bleacher area on the hill, video board, press box.
Yep.
I mean, that's a lot of stuff that could really make Cutchin Field a showcase.
Yeah, I think if you add the seating, like you say, on those wet days where the hill's a little wet, you're not got people that aren't wanting to come to the game. They can get in some bleachers. I think the biggest component's the lights. You get to play at night. You can attract some, potentially some bigger schools to come play, get a bigger crowd, and then you've got some of the players' families that can get in town for games too. Because right now, playing at 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, we've got students still in class, people still at work. Any out-of-towners can't really make it. So if we can play on a Thursday, Friday night under lights, I think it'd be a great atmosphere.
Well, when it comes to player development, having turf totally increases your ability to train anytime with lights as well. And that's what it's all about as a head coach. And that is every one of your student athletes, when they leave, you want them to max out their ability, not only in the classroom but on the field. You want them to be the best they can be. And all these things we're talking about is only going to help that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think right now we have a group, and we have over the last few years, who just want to be out on the field. Even when training's done, they want to stay out. On those days where it's a little wet out, you can't do too much because you're just going to ruin the field. So if we did have that turf field, you're not going to get games postponed. You're not going to get, training delays where we have to book the football turf and go train over there. Just having that whole turf to ourselves would be, really, really good.
Well, and then another part that we've mentioned too is when you turf Cutchin Field, you're going to have 130 yards long by the time you add the part behind the goals, and then the sideline part of it. That's going to be turf space that other Murray State teams can utilize for conditioning. For example, the volleyball team might want to just walk over and do their running outside on Cutchin Field. So that's also going to help have a multi-purpose part to it. So Simone, when we talk about student-athlete experience, talk about your experience so far at Murray State, and then kind of project yourself a little bit on what it would be like to play at Murray State after all of these things we're talked about are becoming a reality.
Yeah, well, Murray State has, my experience has been amazing. I've made really great friends and, family. After I leave, I'm pretty sure I'll talk to as much people, from here as possible. But my soccer experience has been amazing. I mean, we've been to the tournament, and we've won 2 championships since I've been here, and it's been amazing. But if we had the turf and all that, lights and stuff, it would be a game changer basically, because we would have more fans and stuff, because people always tell me that they would love to come to our games because it's at 3 o'clock and it's in the middle of the day and it's hard. So I would love to have more fans and more support and stuff like that.
Rebecca actually scored the goal for the last time we won a championship. That was kind of fun to watch and to document. Coach Lodge jumped 3 feet off the ground when that goal went in a couple of years ago. How much would it mean, you project yourself, Rebecca, you're a freshman a few years from now, and we've got a video board.
Well, first of all, my experience here has been great. I mean, we've won 2 rings in the past 3 years that I've been here, and we're going towards our 4th, but, or our 3rd, I meant. But honestly, if I was a freshman coming in and we had the opportunity of lights and a turf field and stadiums, we could potentially have big schools at our games, we could play bigger schools. I mean, we played Indiana at home, we've had Ole Miss at home, but I feel like we could play even more because, playing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday and a Sunday is hard to do for most teams to get here, from far away and whatnot. But I feel like if we had lights and we had turf, we could get even more teams coming here. Because I feel we've played bigger teams in the past, and I feel like going forward, we can play more.
Speaking of having more flexibility and when you can play, your parents come to games. Mm-hmm. If we played at a better time, and it's great having mom and dad there, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
There's nothing better than that. So when we talk about all these things, Matt, talking about recruiting too, and you're recruiting all the time. You recruit every day. Yeah. How much fun would it be for you to market all these things we're talking about?
It'd be a pretty easy sell to a recruit if they get to come on a field and they've got everything right there. We are grateful for what we have, but we're always wanting to improve, always wanting to attract, better players and things like that. And this is like Simone said, it'd be a game changer. We could attract the better players. We could compete with some more schools for players. I just think as a high school kid going on college visits, you can step into a stadium-like facility. I think it would kind of be overwhelming and a big selling point for us.
Well, we want to thank Coach Lodge, Simone Cooper, and Rebecca Kubin for coming on our program today. That's the thing at Murray State. You talk to all of our head coaches as we reveal these facility master plans. We feel like if we could just get a student athlete and their parents to come to Murray State to visit, then chances are they're going to love it here. And all these things we're talking about with soccer is just going along to help Murray State athletics make its move.